HETV is back where we originally started our games of the week in the 2014-2015 basketball season, Schaumburg High School. Hi everybody, Eric O'Brien. Jael will not be joining me tonight as it is a Thursday, so this will be a solo performance only. We just saw Schaumburg in a heartbreaking loss on Friday at Fremd. They blew a 5-point lead with 75 seconds remaining in the ballgame before Kim nailed a three-pointer at the last, and I mean last second, for a 51-52 loss at Fremd. Any other day, it would be tough to shake a hangover. Schaumburg has to shake this hangover on a marathon. Barrington might be the best team in this conference. A 12-4 record, already have beaten the likes of Fremd, Palatine, and Hoffman Estates. They don't show any signs of slowing down. We'll see what they can do tonight. Keep an eye on number 11, Rapolis Ivanauskis, the 6'9 junior. He's going to have something to say before this is all said and done. Starting lineups are next. Keep it with us.
You see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets fell down, the guns were stealing, yet proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Schaumburg High School, the home of the Saxons. Tonight, the Saxons play host to the Broncos of Barrington High School. At this time, let's hear the starting lineups for both teams. For the Broncos, out of guard, 5'11", senior number 3, Matt McAndrews. And for your Saxons, out of guard, 5'11", senior number 10, Marquise Wood. For the Broncos, at forward, 6'9", junior, number 11, Rapolis Ivanauskis. And for your Saxons, at guard, 6'4", junior, number 15, Jason Shue. For the Broncos, at forward, 6'6", senior, number 12, Chris Lester. And for your Saxons, at guard, at 5'6", senior, number 23, Adam Lowe. For the Broncos, at center, 6'6", junior, number 32, Will Ryan. For the Saxons, at forward, 6'1", senior, number 24, Connor Leary. For the Broncos, at guard, 6'1", junior, number 50, Ben Weber. And for your Saxons, at forward, 6'2", senior, number 32, Brandon Parker.
Broncos making their way to half court. They are in all red jerseys. I guess you could call it a scarlet. A little bit of a double white stripe going down both the trunks and shirts. A white Barrington across their chest and white numbers with a little bit of black trim. Now the Saxons making their way to midcourt. High fives all around. Always good sportsmanship shown in the high school ranks. Schaumburg will be white on white. A little bit of scarlet numbers or maroon numbers, if you want to call it. And a gold trim around those numbers with a maroon thinning stripe down their trunks. And already we have a foul on the tip. Premature jumping called on Schaumburg. And so Barrington will start with possession. Matt McAndrews dribbling it up center court. Gives it off to Reinert, and Reinert dishes it to Ben Weber at the top of the key. Weber to his right, gives it up to number 11, Repolis Ivanauskis. Keep an eye on him. He is huge, 6'9" junior. And Ivanauskis lost possession. 3 Schaumburg Saxons dove in, and in the end, Woodard came up with possession. Coming to our right on the near side of the screen. Shu passed up a shot, now dribbling to his left. Kicks it out to Brendan Parker. Parker misses a 16-footer short. Shu in on the rebound, so are a couple of other players, Brendan Parker and looks to be Will Reinert. Whistles stop play for just a second, no score. Almost a minute into the game. Schaumburg ball. Woodard into Garrity. Garrity looking for help, back to Woodard. Woodard at the top of the key, center court. Now kicks it out to the near wing. Back to Woodard, driving. Faking underneath. Tried for the reverse lay-in, no good. Rebound, Barrington. Kicks it out, and a shot by Chris Lester. And the first points of the board go to Barrington Broncos. Up 3-0 with 6:30 and some change in the first quarter. Adam Lewis getting some playing time tonight for Schaumburg. Jason Shu kicks it to Lewis, just in front of midcourt. Over to the far left wing, Brennan Parker. And a reach-in violation, no. Brennan Parker drove, used the hand. A little bit of a hand check for Brennan Parker. And so Barrington will take over possession with 6:13 in the first quarter. Matt McAndrews, the senior guard, gives it up to Chris Lesser, and Lesser puts in a 17-footer. Barrington up 5-0 on Schaumburg. And at first glance, Barrington, quite frankly, they are just much, much taller than Schaumburg. Jason Shu trying to drive the lane, pushed at about the free throw line, shoved his defender to the ground, and a foul called. Possession to Barrington. Jason Shu will go to the bench and get a breather. In the game for him is Cameron Powell. Matt McAndrews getting a few last-minute adjustments from his coach, Brian Tucker. Now gives it to Lester, and Lester, a deep three from the white wing is good. And an 8-0 lead. Barrington is on an 8-0 run. 5:30 in the first quarter to play. Schaumburg coming to the right. Cameron Powell streaking to the basket, wide open, and there's Schaumburg's first points of the night. 8-2, Barrington. A pass deflected off of Weber's back, and now Weber regains possession and puts the ball in. An easy lay-in, no one was around him. 10-2. 3 minutes into the first quarter. Brennan Parker's three from the left wing is no good. Rebound, Ivanauskis. Dribbling it up the right side of the court, giving it to Weber. Weber dishing it down low to Will Reinert, and a foul is called before Reinert could put in a floater from about 5 feet away. Foul called on number 24, Connor Garrity for Schaumburg. 4:48 in the first quarter. Barrington up 10-2 on Schaumburg. And a couple more whistles. Reinhardt lost possession out of bounds once again. Weber, a little floating pass back to Reinhardt. Reinhardt, a floating pass to Ivanauskas. Ivanauskas, a little hook shot from about 7 feet away, no good. Rebound, Adam Lewis for Schaumburg, and here they come up the right side. At the S at midcourt, gives it up to Connor Garrity. And after a loose ball, Brennan Parker is going to be called for a walk. The ball was tipped out by Chris Lester, and Brennan Parker was a little bit nonchalant in picking up the ball and was called for a walk. Now Barrington coming up the far side. Ivanauskas gives it to a streaking wide open Will Reinhardt, and he dishes it off the glass for another 2 points and a timeout for Coach Marty Manning and the Schaumburg Saxons, with Barrington leading this one 12-2, 4:06 into the first quarter. Schaumburg thus far has no answer for Barrington's size. Barrington 6'9", 6'6", 6'5", and 6'2", versus Schaumburg's 5'11", 6'2", 6'1", 6 foot, 5'6". You can see how they're having some trouble. Barrington's timeout is over, and they await Schaumburg to break their huddle, and now they do. A couple of last-minute swigs of Gatorade, and back onto the court. And into the ball game checks number 42, who we do not have a name for. A steal running up midcourt, no one chasing him. And an easy lay-in for Matt McAndrews. And Barrington is up 14-2 on Schaumburg, in front of a, well, less than sellout crowd. Garrity to Powell, over to Parker. Parker working from the left wing, spins, a drive, and a lay-in won't go. Rebound, Will Reinhardt. Reinhardt kicks it to McAndrews. McAndrews coming up the right side. Now throws a line drive pass across the court to Weber. And Weber's shot, no good, long. Rebound, Schaumburg. And now here they come. Adam Lewis. Shot was blocked by Reinhardt. Lester threw a pass up for Ivanauskas, who saved it for Reinhardt, and Reinhardt threw the ball out of bounds with Brendan Parker and Connor Garrity on his back. Barrington up 14-2, and let's see who touched it last. It looks like Reinhardt threw it off Parker's fingers, and so Barrington will pass it in directly underneath the basket. And a long three from Chris Lester. No good, though. Rebound, Schaumburg. Lester pulled up from about 25 feet away. Jason Shue having some trouble at midcourt. Kicks it out to Powell, who gives it off to number 42, who still will remain lameness. The shot no good for him. This is Ivanauskas, who wound up and threw a line drive bouncing pass off the shins of his teammate Will Reinhardt and out of bounds. Possession to Schaumburg. Parker inbounds to 42. Hopefully someone will give me a name on number 42. Occasionally that'll happen in high school basketball. Not even their lineup next to the scoreboard has his number nor name. Over 2 minutes and some change here. Brendan Parker's shot short. Rebound, Jason Shue kicks it out. Now they'll reset. Bounce pass to Parker at the top of the arc. Working, faking to his right, going to his left, now going back to the right, and did so illegally. Travel called on Brendan Parker. Second time he's been called for a travel or a walk. Barrington up 14-2 on the Saxons. Jake Orr kicks it out to the right wing. And quickly underneath to Ivanauskas. Ivanauskas lost possession in front of 3 Schaumburg Saxons, still tried to go up and is fouled. And he will go to the line, shooting 2. Ivanauskas was working on Jason Shue, Brendan Parker, and a player to be named later, I believe Travis. Kenny Travis, who has switched numbers. I see his face looks similar, but has switched numbers since the last time I saw him. Now wearing number 34. Travis can compete with Ivanauskas' 6'9" frame. He's 6'5", but there's still 4 inches to be had. Ivanauskas missed the first free throw, puts the second one in. And a 15-2 lead for Barrington over Schaumburg. 1:35 remaining in the first quarter. Weber tried to jump the passing lane, was well short of the pass, and Powell now kicks it out to Rushing at the top, who gives it to Shue over on the left wing. Powell lost his footing for just a second, regains balance, kicks it to 42, and his shot is short. Rebound Ivanauskas. Coming to our left. Bounce pass to Weber, and Weber misses short. And now Schaumburg coming up. On our right, Jason Shue, a long 3-pointer from the left corner. No good, short. Rebound Barrington, who will slow the pace now. Matt McAndrews dribbling up center court, crossing half court now and meeting Aaron Klein. I've got a number, or a name to number 42, Aaron Klein. And now taking a breather is number 50, Ben Weber. Still waiting. Hunched over, holding the ball at his knees at the S at midcourt. And now daring Cameron Powell to come get him. Couple of jab steps, fake to the left, and now he'll dribble. And kick it over to Ivanauskas. Ivanauskas right back to Weber. Couple of instructions from Coach Tucker. Now to Ivanauskas, who streaks over to the opposite side of the court and is shoved. It looks as though Kenny Travis put his right shoulder into the chest of Ivanauskas. It will not be a shooting foul, but a foul nonetheless. Barrington up 15-2, 6.7 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Chris Weber right in front of the student section, who's barking in his ear. Ivanauskas, foot on the line, a high arching 2-point shot is no good, and there is the horn for the first quarter. Barrington with a commanding 13-point lead on the Schaumburg Saxons, 15-2 as we approach the second quarter, and Coach Marty Manning's going to have some serious adjusting to be made. And it's just going to have to be a mind over matter thing. Barrington is clearly bigger, clearly stronger, arguably more talented. Schaumburg has seniors, 9 seniors to be exact, and those seniors are going to have to work together and come up with some kind of answer. Get a look at the Schaumburg Saxon cheer squad. And a little bit of a trouble with one of the formations, the far side to our right. A little bit of a miscue, unfortunately. We'll try to do better the next quarter. So to begin the second quarter, Schaumburg will send out Jason Shue, Marquise Woodard, Cameron Powell, Eric Rushing, and Brendan Parker. Barrington will send out Chris Lester, Tristan Becker, our first look at him, Matt McAndrews, Will Reinert, and Repples, Ivanauskas is still in there. Those are the two big men underneath. Ivanauskas weaving all the way out to the top of the key now. Behind the back, dribbling with his right. Working on Brennan Parker. Now picking up his dribble and throwing a pass, high arching pass all the way across court. Is brought in by Becker. Becker gives to McAndrews. McAndrews trying to find Ivanauskas underneath. Ivanauskas finds Reinhardt underneath. Contact. Loose ball, foul. And a foul on Schaumburg. Called on Woodard. And that's the 15th foul for the Schaumburg Saxons. Reinhardt slamming the ball down, spinning, throwing up a right-handed hook shot, and it does not go. Still a 15-2 lead for Barrington over Schaumburg. Jason Shue dribbling to the right inside the paint, changing direction to his left, puts up a shot, hits the deck and is fouled, shot no good. 7:12 remaining in the half. Brennan Parker running baseline, had an open lane but had to leave his feet for the pass, gave it up to Shue, and Shue missed another three. Woodard throws a lob pass that bounces and is corralled at midcourt. Brennan Parker gave it to Woodard, who gave it out to Shue from the far corner. Three-pointer no good. Rebound Ivanauskas and Barrington coming to our left in red. Ivanauskas tripped for a second, but a bounce pass got McAndrews. Reinhardt controlled a high pass with two hands, gave it to Ivanauskas. Ivanauskas spinning to his right, throws up a fadeaway hook shot, and it falls short. Rebound Schaumburg, and Woodard coming up middle court. Gives it to Shue, and now extending in a hand, but Shue does not find him. Instead, it will be a bounce pass to Parker. Parker trying to work some space on Chris Lester. Parker gives it to a wide open Woodard at the top of the arc. About a 23-foot three-pointer, and it's no good. Off the rim to the right, rebound Ivanauskas. His fourth rebound of the night. Ivanauskas puts up a 12-foot little arching jump shot, and it is no good. Rebound Woodard. Parker from the left wing corner could not get it. Three-pointer would not go. We haven't seen any points of the second half or second quarter. 5:40 and ticking. Tough pass handled by Ivanauskas, who puts in a 17-foot rainbow. It's good, and now 2 and some change into the second quarter. We have our first points. And now Ivanauskas stealing a pass and all the way jamming it home with two hands way up in the air. And Barrington leads 19-2. Five minutes in the second quarter. Here comes Shue in the paint, going airborne. Shot was higher than the box on the glass. Way off the mark, but he will be called to the line off a foul. And with 5 minutes even, Jason Shue will try to cut into the 17-point deficit. Spins the ball a couple of times, and a good free throw, number one. 19-3. A couple of substitutions now. Powell and Rushing will check out. Klein and Travis will check in. Barrington yet to make any changes. 2 dribbles and a couple of spins, and Jason Shue is good again from the free throw line. 19-4. McAndrews to Weber, Weber to Lester. Lester spinning to his left, kisses it off the glass from the left angle, and a 21-4 lead for Barrington over Schaumburg. Up the court to the right, Woodard. Bounce pass to the middle of the court. Back to Shue, kicks it over to Brennan Parker, but in the passing lane was Ivanauskas, who knocked it out of bounds, and Jason Shue will pass in to one of the men in white, he hopes. Woodard worked off a screen from Kenny Travis, got open, and now they will set a play. The play will be run by Parker from the top of the arc. No, now over to Travis. Back over to Shue. Slicing to the lane and blocked away from Lester. In the paint, Shue tried to put up a left-handed layup and Lester denied him. And now here comes Parker trying the same thing. Lester does it one more time. Up the court, here comes Barrington. Ivanauskas. No good on that one. Rebound. Gets his own rebound. Drawing 3 Schaumburg defenders, kicks it out to Lester, who puts up a 18-foot jump shot. Mid-range jumper is good. A 23-4 lead for Barrington. 3:45 remaining in the half. Lester big on both ends. 2 blocks and then puts in the bucket. And now Woodard working off the left side of the paint on your right side of your screen is fouled. And he will go to the line. He was in the shooting process. Four dribbles and a spin. First free throw, no good. Off the back iron. Woodard looks to the ceiling, shrugs his shoulders, now pats his hair a couple of times. He's got a white sleeve on his right shooting hand. And that time he knocks in the second free throw. So it's a 23-5 lead for Barrington. It appeared to be a mismatch on paper. It appears to be a mismatch in height. It's proven to be both those things. This will be Jake Orr from midcourt over to Chris Weber. Keep calling him Chris Weber. Ben Weber. Now Ivanauskas working from the far corner is fouled, throws up a three-pointer anyway. He made it, but it won't count. It was well after the whistle. Ben Weber will inbound. Will Reinhardt right in front of him. Now sets a screen for Jake Orr. Jake Orr might be the tiniest man on the court. I'm sure he feels even smaller with how big the team is around him. Ivanauskas got a bounce pass underneath, tried to put up a baseline jumper and knocked it off of the top right part of the backboard and out of bounds. Somehow Barrington has possession. The ball goes back to Ivanauskas, who drives his shoulder and puts in a lay-in. 25-5 lead for Barrington, and now Brendan Parker is stripped of the ball. Jake Orr threw a pass down court. No one was there. He clearly had some miscommunication with Ivanauskas. I don't blame him for going up top. Ivanauskas 6'9" and Will Reinhardt 6'5". So high certainly is a good idea for that small number 5. Jake Orr 5'10" on the court, but he is a senior. Now trying to throw a long pass underneath in the middle of the paint, just under the basket, but could not corral it where Reinhardt couldn't. And so here comes Schaumburg to our right again in the white jerseys, and now a foul is called, a holding foul. Aaron Klein was fouled by Jake Orr. And so the smallest man on the court will go to the bench. He sits down. Not much of a change from when he sits down to when he's standing up. That's how short he is. The long three-pointer was no good for Aaron Klein. Rebound, Ben Weber. Over to Chris Lester, who then rolls the ball kind of like a bowling ball back to Weber. But Barrington controls it and back to Lester. Lester just in front of the three-point line on the near side. A swish. And a 27-5 lead with 2 minutes and ticking in the half. Garrity driving to the free throw line, gives it up for Aaron Klein. Klein tried putting up a three and was blocked by McAndrews. Over to Lester, no one there, and Lester will throw it down with two hands. And a 29-5 lead as Schaumburg calls its third timeout of the half. 29-5, Barrington over Schaumburg with 1:45 remaining in this first half. Chris Lester has electrified his bench, not so much the crowd as Barrington is on the road, but at least 3 blocks underneath and 2 dunks to boot. Complemented by a few putbacks, and Chris Lester leads the way with 16 points. Ivanauskas, a little over half that, 7 points. And then a few players with a couple of points on Barrington. Not much scoring from Schaumburg at all. The scoring leaders are Jason Shue and Cameron Powell. 2 points apiece, as Schaumburg only totals 5 on the scoreboard. Over 14 minutes of play, and Schaumburg has only put up 5 points against this stout Barrington defense. All the players back on the court. A fan had to grab his towel and headband that he lost on the court. Now he continues to wave it around. And Cameron Powell waving around the ball. Now loses possession, and Barrington will come back with it. McAndrews all the way across pass to Weber. Weber up top to Lester. Lester down low to Ethan Small, and Ethan Small is fouled. Ethan Small will go to the line. These are the first minutes he's seeing. Ethan Small, the 6'5" center. Nothing small about him. Dries off his hands on his shoes. Clears the sweat from his jersey. Couple of dribbles. Ball rolls around, and the first free throw no good for Small. Wears number 22 on his back. Into the game, here comes Woodard. And here comes Adam Lewis. Out of the game goes Garrity and Klein. Barrington doesn't really seem to mind substitutions. Second free throw off the back of the rim. Small tried to get his own rebound, could not do it. Here comes Woodard, who had the rebound to his right. Tried to spin into the chest of Chris McAndrews and was called for a walk. So change of possession, and Barrington will come attacking to the left. In the red jerseys, McAndrews dribbling a couple of times with his left hand. Now gives it to the left to Lester. Lester kicks it across court to Small. Small to McAndrews. McAndrews back over to the spot. Replaced by Lester, and Weber replaced it. Now from the very top of the key, McAndrews will settle down. Here comes Lester with a chest pass of his own over to Weber. Weber tried throwing the alley-oop to Lester. Lester didn't know. Never looked for the ball, and it goes out of bounds over to Schaumburg. Barrington still a commanding lead, 29-5 over Schaumburg on a working clock that shows 35 seconds. And now Adam Lewis is going to put up a three. It was well short. Rushing and Small jumping out of bounds. Who touched it last? Woodard will inbound, so Small knocked it out of bounds. A line drive pass caught one-handed by Parker, who kicked it over to the top of the key. Rushing his three-pointer, no good. Tristan Becker fell over. Ball went off of his foot out of bounds, and so we'll do it again. Woodard over to Parker. Looks a lot the same on the near side, now going over to the near wing. Blocked again by Lester. Another three-pointer denied by number 12 in red. And Schaumburg just can't quite find a shot over number 12. So once again, inbounding will be Woodard as Weber gets a breather. And this time Woodard finds a streaking Parker, made a move and got to the bucket. And a 29-7 lead for Barrington. Lester shooting from the top of the key, makes it, but is called for the travel just before the shot, so don't count it. Wipe off the three-pointer, 4.2 seconds remaining, and Schaumburg will inbound from halfway up the court, about 5 feet on their side of midcourt. Inbound to Jason Shu, catches it, goes to his left, throws up a prayer, and prayer to the right, no good. 29-7 lead for the Barrington Broncos at halftime over the Schaumburg Saxons. And back for the second half of play on HETV's Game of the Week. The Schaumburg Saxons have a mountain to climb in more ways than one against the Barrington Broncos. Barrington has imposed their will, especially number 12, Chris Lester, making his way onto the court right now in red. 4 blocks on the evening, 2 two-handed jams on the evening, along with 16 other points. Even the tallest players trying to shoot threes have been denied by number 12. So Schaumburg will see what Coach Martin Manning has drawn up against this big Barrington Bronco defense. Schaumburg starts with the ball, trailing 29-7. And it'll be Woodard driving to the left, slicing into the right, and laying it in, rattling it around. But a lay-in is good, 29-9. A nice start. That's the same point total, 2, that they got all first half. And kicks it all the way up court to a wide-open Adam Lewis, who could not throw it in. Brennan Parker flying over, tried to save the ball, was unable to do so, and so Barrington will take over. Barrington attacking left to right. Schaumburg will be right to left this half. And number 3, McAndrews, the lefty, dribbling with his left hand. Working on Adam Lewis. Tried to get a ball into Avanauskas. It eluded him, but Reinhardt was there. Lowered a shoulder and is called for the offensive foul in the paint. He lowered his right shoulder into the chest of Brennan Parker. And Parker inbounds to Woodard. They're coming up the seam of center court. Over to Jason Shu on the near wing. To Adam Lewis, who dishes to Connor Garrity, slicing in. Calling for it, wide open, Shu, near corner, 3 is good. 29-12, Barrington on top with 6:30 and a working clock. But a nice start for Schaumburg in this second half. And now Weber's pass too tall for the very tall Ivanauskas. Coming right up with it to the left is Woodard. Woodard put up a shot missed, short. Brendan Parker was there and put it back. And a beautiful 7-point run to start the half for the Schaumburg Saxons. Timeout, Barrington. I don't think Coach Brian Tucker thought he'd need to use any timeouts the way that first half went. And he has some strong instructions in the middle of that Barrington huddle, pointing at everybody, pointing to the scoreboard. An imposing coach. He stands taller than even Ivanauskas at 6'9", so the coach must be at least 6'9". And he has everyone's attention in the red jerseys. An adamant Coach Tucker, and a very pleased Coach Manning on the other side. And now this home crowd has a little bit of life as well. So the halftime adjustments so far in favor of Schaumburg, but they have some work to do. And here comes McAndrews, just passing the S at midcourt, kicks it over to Ivanauskas on the left wing. Lofted pass and over 2 Schaumburg defenders. Lester had it, lost it. Here comes Woodard to the left side. A left-handed lay-in is no good. Rebound Reinhardt, and Reinhardt is fouled underneath the basket. Garrity will be called for the foul against Schaumburg. And it is just the first team foul of the half. And a foul now well away from the ball. Inside of the paint, we'll see who it's on. They got Shu, and they got him for holding on Chris Lester underneath on the far side of the paint at about the second solid hash mark in that paint. And now Weber's pass was not handled by Chris Lester, but Shu might have gotten a hand in there. He did. So Weber will try it again, this time in front of the bench on the far sideline. Gives it to McAndrews. McAndrews right back to Weber. Weber, a two-handed overhand pass, kind of like soccer, is thrown in across court, and now Ivanauskas gives it back to Weber. Weber kicks it to McAndrews, the smallest man for Barrington, and McAndrews, kissed it off the glass and in for a 31-14 lead for the Broncos. Now over on the left portion of the court, and the boys in white Saxons. Parker passed up a three, kicked it out to Lewis at the top. Lewis long with a three, rebound Ivanauskas. Ivanauskas is closing in on 10 rebounds. Ivanauskas trying to go coast to coast, lowered his left shoulder, and that's the second time he's been called for a charge. So an offensive foul for Barrington will give the ball to Schaumburg. And the home crowd starts mocking Ivanauskas, chanting Ireland. Ireland, clap, clap, Ireland. I guess he's Irish. Well, here comes Saxons over on the left side of your screen. Cameron Powell, overhand pass to Woodard. Woodard kicked it to the right corner to Shu. Shu put in a three. And with 4:40 in the third quarter, Schaumburg trails 31-17 on Barrington. And now Schaumburg gets a steal. And coming up the court is Woodard. Woodard lost it to the ground with Weber, and possession Barrington. Baseline judge pointing in the direction of Barrington, so Weber will lazily throw a right-handed pass to McAndrews, jog up to the right side of the court, and McAndrews dishes it to Chris Lester from just in front of the midcourt S. And now working on the three-point line to Weber. Weber driving baseline, slides into the left, and a floating runner is good for Weber. 33-17, Barrington on top, 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Brendan Parker working on Lester. Gives it over to Woodard. Woodard fakes to his right, drives to his left, kicks to Powell. Powell got caught on the baseline, had to give it back to Woodard on the near wing. Woodard drove to the free throw line, spun, driving to the baseline, and laid it in with his left hand. And then Weber got behind the Schaumburg defense on the other end, but a holding foul called on Connor Garrity will prevent any play from proceeding. Schaumburg looks like a whole nother team this half. Only 19 points so far, but hey, they went into halftime with only 5 points. So you can see the difference. 33-19, Barrington on top. Weber to Ivanauskas from the three-point land. Over in the left wing is short, no good. Rebound Powell driving up the left part of the court. Now streaking to the paint, working on two very tall Barrington defenders. Pulls the ball down, hesitates for a second. Laid up the shot, and a foul, shot nowhere close to good. Went out of bounds over on the R on Schaumburg. Ball had to be chased down by Powell, and now he will work his way to the free throw line. Shooting two, and a awkward free throw routine. Pardon my stumbling here, but Powell dribbles twice. We'll see if he does this again. Powell dribbled twice, went to his toes like he was going to release the ball, stopped, reloaded, and then awkwardly shot a line drive. It was good the first time. He did not do it the second time, so he must have had some kind of a hesitation. Oh, maybe he should do it every time because he missed the second free throw. And so the rebound, Barrington, they'll drive up right up the center court. McAndrews working to his left, behind the back to his right. Kicks a pass over to Lester on the far corner, and the three-point shot for Lester was no good. Ivanauskas tried to get the rebound after Brendan Parker saved it from going out of bounds for some reason. And now possession will remain with Barrington after a foul is called on Parker. 3:08 in the third quarter. Barrington on top 33-20. But Schaumburg has come out with a lot of life this half. And they seem to have drawn up some kind of an answer for the stature of the Barrington Broncos. Now Weber throws a pass over to the top of the arc. And Chris Lester, who went around an Ivanauskas screen and lost possession out of bounds on the baseline. It was knocked out, looks like to be by Cameron Powell. Weber threw in a pass to Ivanauskas, who pawed it with one hand, his right hand, spun to his left, threw a hook shot from the left, and about 9 feet away, bounced softly on the front of the rim, rattled to the back of the rim, and then fell. So a 35-20 point lead for Barrington over Schaumburg, and 2:30 on a working clock. Over to the left side for Schaumburg now, and rushing, driving baseline, kicking it out to a running Lewis, who gave it to Parker, and Parker tried to kick it to the left wing, but it was deflected off of Weber's chest. Weber corrals it, leaves it for a streaking Will Reinard, and Reinard laid it in no problem. And now Schaumburg will try to slow it down a little bit. Lewis standing just in front of his bench and his head coach. Tried a line drive pass that deflected off of Brendan Parker's numbers, but it might have been touched by Chris Lester in the process. And yes, Schaumburg will inbound. Adam Klein standing at the A, just to the referee's left, looking to inbound. Lewis trying to streak to his left, could not get there. Tried to bounce pass to Rushing. Rushing lost possession of the ball, and Barrington will control it. Chris Lester going up the midcourt, throwing guns in the air with his left hand, gives it to Ivanauskas, whose 15-foot shot will not fall from the right corner. And right away, here comes Schaumburg. Powell fakes a couple times to his right, fakes to the left, drives to the right, and bulldozes over Matt McAndrews for Barrington. Offensive foul called, and Chris Lester awaits the inbound. Awaits two inbound, rather. Jake Orr just in front of Lester. No one playing defense on this end of the court for Schaumburg. And so here comes Orr. Smallest man on the court, 5'10". Orr dribbles a couple times, now gives it off to Weber at the top of the key. Weber gave it to a slicing Chris Lester, who drilled it off the back of the rim. Rebound Ethan Small. He threw it off the back of the rim, got his own rebound, and a whistle. And so Small will go to the line. It was a shooting foul. The foul was called on Brendan Parker. It's a 16th foul for Schaumburg. Small's first free throw is good. Ethan Small, the center. 6'5" junior. Two dribbles with the right hand. Pauses at his waist. Now releases his free throw, no good. Rattles around, but the rebound, McAndrews. Got it in there and lost it. Jason Shue coming out with the pass, or with the ball. Pass it off to Adam Klein. And now Schaumburg attacking to the left. White on white jerseys against Barrington, red on red jerseys. Maroon stripe for Schaumburg, white stripe for Barrington. Bounce pass into the paint. No one the intended receiver, and so Jake Orr will work his way up the court for Barrington. Barrington on top 36-20 as we are in the final minute of the third quarter. Chris Lester standing at the home on the far left wing. Now Jake Orr has it in front of Adam Lewis. And Orr kicks it over to Tristan Becker just in front of his bench. On the near third and just to the right of the 211 on the court. Now Lester driving, and dishing. But Small couldn't handle the pass. Regains possession, and now Barrington will set it up again. With 5 seconds remaining, here's Lester. A long three-pointer, arching short. Jake Orr rebound. Throws it up as he fades away, no good. And so the score will remain 38-20 as we are in the final quarter of play now at Schaumburg High School. It's an 18-point deficit, yes, for Schaumburg. However, that was a 15-point quarter for Schaumburg after a 5-point first half. So promise for Coach Martin Manning's Saxons. Although winning this game looks bleak, crazier things have happened. A little bit more of a subdued Brian Tucker, the head coach of the Broncos, in their huddle. Last time he was standing up, yelling, pounding chests, pointing to the scoreboard, calling everyone out. This time he's on one knee, drawing up a play. Mostly looking at Lester, who sits just in front of him. Tristan Becker to Lester's right. Jake Orr to Lester's left. And Chris Lester is the only man drinking water in that huddle. But he has earned it, to say the least. 16 points, 4 blocks, 2 dunks. There's nothing he hasn't shown. Meanwhile, Ivanauskas needs 1 more rebound to have 10. And 1 more bucket should give him 10. So he is, watch out for him getting a double-double. The leading scorer for Schaumburg, that'd be Jason Shue with 8 points. Schaumburg inbounds. Parker over to Cameron Powell. Cameron Powell, too far for Parker, off his fingertips and out of bounds. Lester will inbound to Matt McAndrews. And a very slow McAndrews methodically dribbles it up the court right in front of Jason Shue. They kind of have the same haircut, kind of look like the same person. McAndrews a little bit darker hair though. Now Lester kicking it off the dribble and pass to Becker. There was a whistle. I'm trying to check that here. So the foul is on Barrington, and Schaumburg will dribble up the court. Barrington, just their 4th foul. Now here comes Cameron Powell, gives it to Brendan Parker. Brendan Parker trying to spin to his left, but lost possession of the ball. Forgot the ball on the way to his spin. Regained possession, and then threw it out of bounds, trying to find Woodard. Weber will check in for Ethan Small. Ivanauskas will check in for Tristan Becker. And so here we go with 7:14 in the game. Jake Orr. Jake Orr in much more of a hurry than he was any other time coming up the court. Leaves it for Weber. Weber over to Ivanauskas. Ivanauskas on the baseline, the far side. Works his way, creates some space, underhand shot, but it won't go. No good, and now here comes Woodard. Up the middle of the court, stops at the three-point line as Lester went airborne. Gave it off to Parker. Parker's three-pointer, no good. And out of bounds. Barrington tried to rebound, was unable to do so. Schaumburg with the ball. Ivanauskas poked the ball out of Travis's hands, but Travis regained possession. Leaves it for a pass. On the run was Woodard. Left-handed lay-in. He's done that a few times tonight, and he finds Pater again. 38-22 now for Barrington, and Woodard picks the pocket of Ivanauskas all the way up court, coast to coast. Blocking foul. No bucket, but blocking foul. Woodard will go to the line as he went to the ground with Matt McAndrews, who's now getting up and shaking his right wrist. Might have landed on it a little bit, trying to shake off the pain. Woodard's first free throw is good. Ivanauskas will get a breather. Reinhardt checks in for Ivanauskas. Lester boxes out, but no need to. Woodard's shot, good. Both free throws good. 38-24 in favor of Barrington at Schaumburg with 6 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in this game. Weber underneath to Reinhardt. Reinhardt went airborne in front of 2 Schaumburg defenders, had to hold the ball down as long as he could, tried to go up and was fouled. First free throw is good for Will Reinhardt. A little bit of a staggered stance. Right foot in front of the left foot by, let's say, about 1.5 feet. And the second free throw, no good. Off the back of the rim for Reinhardt. Schaumburg attacking now to our left in the white jerseys. Marquise Woodard. Marquise Woodard. Driving baseline, going left hand again, but slicing between 2 Barrington defenders on his way to doing so. Here comes Barrington, Reinhardt. Shot won't go, hard off the rim, rebound McAndrews. Lester trying to go up. Hits the deck, fouled by Kenny Travis. He looked like he was gonna throw down. Travis wasn't gonna allow that to happen. So a foul against Lester. And Chris Lester will shoot 2. 9th team foul for Schaumburg. Shooter's bounce for Chris Lester, and he has 17 tonight. Couple of substitutions here. Brendan Parker and Cameron Powell will check out of the game. Rushing, and Klein will check in the game. Lester's second free throw short off the front of the rim. Shu coming up on the far third of the court. Now Woodard working from the top of the arc. Just it to Klein. Klein moving to his left, shoves off with his right on Weber. Looking for space. Matt McAndrews came over and swatted the ball while Klein was looking for a pass. Ball went out of bounds right in front of the scorer's table. And so Shu will inbound to Woodard. Woodard working with his left hand against Jake Orr. And it's stripped by Lester. Here he goes. Third two-handed jam of the night for Chris Lester. 42-26, Barrington on top of Schaumburg with 4:45 remaining in the ball game. Foul called on the other end. Foul will be on a Barrington Bronco, only their 6th team foul. Chris Lester, 3 dunks tonight, 4 blocks, and 17 points. Jason Shu working off the catch and shoot on the near corner. Another 3-pointer for Shu, and he hears it from the crowd. Marquise Woodard just stripped Jake Orr of the ball. All the way to the basket, another left-handed lay-in for Woodard. 42-31. Can Schaumburg pull this off? They still have a ways to go. A couple of Saxons hitting the deck as Reinhardt trying to muscle his way inside the paint. And now we get a whistle. Jason Shu tried to sell the charge. The benefit did not go to him. So Reinhardt will shoot 2. Chris Lester having a cup of Gatorade while Reinhardt does so, right in front of his bench. First free throw, hard off the back iron. No good. And now Lester will check in. Sandwich between Rushing on his right and Shu on his left. Boxing out. Rushing boxes Chris Lester out. And a rebound for Eric Rushing. Here comes Schaumburg, trailing by 11. Woodard driving to the paint, falling to his left, drawing the contact, count the bucket. He'll go to the line, looking to finish the three-point play and make this an 8-point deficit. At one time, Schaumburg trailed by over 20. The senior captain to make this an 8-point game. And we have ourselves an 8-point game. 42-34, Barrington on top at Schaumburg. 4 minutes on a ticking time bomb of a clock in the fourth quarter. And here comes Jake Orr, desperately trying to find someone. Gives it to Weber on his left. Weber crashed into a rushing hit the deck. No whistle, but possession to Schaumburg. Jason Shue for three. You don't need me to tell you that one went in. Just listen to the crowd. 42-37 off the right hand of Jason Shue. 3:26 remaining in the fourth quarter. It's a 5-point game. And when we began the half, it was a 24-point game. 14 points for Jason Shue, 16 points for Marquise Woodard. These Saxons have no quitting them. And for those curious, 17 fouls for Barrington, 10 team fouls for Schaumburg. Any foul, either way, will require shots from the stripe. Schaumburg breaks their huddle. Barrington breaks their huddle. Lester, McAndrews, Reinert, Ivanauskis, and Weber. For Schaumburg, Shue, Woodard, Klein, Rushing, and Parker. McAndrews on Shue. Angling to the right. Froze for just a second as Woodard passed him. Dished it to Weber. Weber gave it to Reinert underneath on the MSL. Pass was deflected by Woodard and controlled by Woodard. And here comes Woodard. Up the middle, driving to the left, giving it to Parker. Parker over to Rushing. Rushing across court to Klein. Klein into the corner. Woodard. Woodard drives to the paint. A lane opened up for Parker, who tried to get in there. Is fouled. Went to his left, that's not Parker's strong suit. Appeared to question the decision, but was helped out by a foul on McAndrews underneath. Spirit fingers all around for the student section of the Saxons. Couple dribbles, a spin, Parker to his toes. Hard off the rim and no good. 42-37, 2:48 remaining. Schaumburg trails Barrington 42-37. Second free throw is good. Four-point game, here comes Barrington. McAndrews, high pass controlled with two hands by Weber, who left it for Ivanauskis. Ivanauskis from the free throw stripe goes airborne, and a pretty shot hits nothing but net. 44-38 Barrington. Schaumburg lost the rock, and now here comes Barrington. Weber, a lane opened up, lay-in no good. Reinert's underneath, pass to him, he wide open, kisses it off the glass, and good for Barrington. And a quick 4-point strike for Barrington off of that timeout. Another timeout will be had here. This time it'll be Coach Marty Manning's Saxons taking it. 46-38, 2:07, fourth quarter. HETV's Game of the Week, Eric O'Brien. On a Thursday night. Did not look at all like we'd have this kind of a finish. No part of this appeared to be exciting after the first half. 5 points in total for the Saxons in quarters 1 and 2. They now hold 38 points. And Parker will inbound to Woodard. Woodard trotting up center court. Gives it to Klein, who came over, stopped his dribble. Shu was over on the right corner, likes his three there. Will spin around and now run into a wall of Barrington defenders, and it's called for a travel. Shu leaves it in disgust for the baseline ref. But self-inflicted wounds might prevent this comeback from being a reality. Miscommunication for Barrington as to who's going to take the inbound. Ivanauskas and Lester both wanted it. Ended up being Lester over to Ivanauskas, leaves it for McAndrews, and here comes McAndrews. Driving to the right, pause, now to his left on Shu. Spins around to the right, all the way into the paint, lay it in, and good. Cut the seam, cut the team. 48-38, a 10-point lead for Barrington. Under 90 seconds remaining, and now Schaumburg, another travel called. And this might just be a lack of focus as they feel this game slipping from any type of grasp. At no point did Schaumburg lead tonight, but certainly the momentum was with them about a minute and a half ago when they trailed by just 4 points, and now they trail by 10. Ball was never inbounded, but a foul called on Schaumburg, and so Barrington will go to the line. And Weber will be the one to take the free throws. Ben Weber, the 6'1" senior. With his left hand, first free throw good. Looking for his 6th point on the evening. 5 and 6 from the stripe for Weber, and it's a 12-point advantage for Barrington, up 50-38. 1:26 left in the fourth quarter. And over anxious was Matt McAndrews on that inbound, chopping Marquise Woodard over his right shoulder. And Woodard will go to the line as that is the 9th team foul for Barrington. Tucker having some words with McAndrews as Woodard is good again. And everything that comes out of the right hand from number 10 is pretty. Right-handed shooter, white sleeve on that right arm, but he goes to his left very well, and about 5 times tonight he's had a left-handed lay-in. And now up the court is Ben Weber, runs into a double team from Schaumburg. Ivanauskas lost the pass at his feet, and a foul will be called on Eric Rushing, who rushed over there but unable to get any ball. Got all arm. Eleventh team foul for Schaumburg. You have to feel for the Saxons. Comeback's going to come up a little bit short, but it was a heck of an effort after only 5 points at halftime. Saxon cheer squad getting their last time on the court. There's one group that has struggled all night with their aerial attacks. That time they got it. Hey, there we go. All right, final 75 to play. Barrington will inbound. It'll be McAndrews in front of a straight line of Barrington offensive players that split alternating directions. Chris Lesser ended up with the rock, held it, and is fouled. Now he'll go to the line. Rolls the ball behind his back. A couple of bounces onto his toes and a nice follow through. First free throw good, wiping it off of his shoes now. Jake Orr having some words with the ref as well. Second free throw short off the front of the rim. Rebound rushing. Here comes Schaumburg. Woodard to his left, slicing through, finds room again. Another left-handed lay-in. Bounces off the glass and good. 51-42. And the final 60. Barrington on top of Schaumburg. And Barrington throwing it away once again. Lesser comes flying down, jumps over Klein, trying to get the ball. Slams his hands onto the brick behind the scoreboard. And now a timeout once again. The final 2 minutes of basketball can often get tedious, and that's what we have here. It's a 9-point game with 50.9 seconds remaining. Earlier on in the ball game, Barrington had one, maybe two players sitting down in their chairs when they called these timeouts. Now all five who are in the game are sitting down, clearly much more exhausted, have had to work for it this half. Credit Schaumburg. They've never quit. Very few in this building truly believe that they had a shot against these Broncos, but they came out in that second half and proved they are worthy if they can put it together. Brendan Parker will take the inbound, gives it to Woodard. Woodard underneath the paint. The opposite basket now coming up the middle of the court. Pass the yes, working on McAndrews. Bounce pass over to Brendan Parker. Parker back to Woodard. Woodard driving, left hand again. This time it won't go. Rebound Ivanauskis, and Woodard will foul Reples Ivanauskis. And with that rebound, Ivanauskis has hit a double-double. 11 points, 10 rebounds. 51-42. Over 35 seconds left to play. There's his 12th point of the evening as the first free throw is good. It's a low 5 from Matt McAndrews. Ivanauskis 13 points on the evening now. Long pass caught at half court by Klein. Ran up, paused in the paint. Barrington defender went flying out of his picture, and then an easy lay-in for Klein. Now way over Reinard. Misses a wide open layup, and here comes Parker from the free throw line. Pulls up, no good. Rebound Ivanauskis for good measure. Final 10 seconds here. Barrington up 53-44. They just have to hold it. Lester will dribble it around. Give to McAndrews. McAndrews puts up a shot. Certainly unnecessary. And that'll do it. 55-44. The Barrington Broncos come in here and complete this domination of the Schaumburg Saxons. It was dominant in the first half, not quite as dominant in the second half, but certainly an all-around intimidating performance. Another valiant effort for the Schaumburg Saxons falls short. Make it a 5-game losing streak. They now go to 6-10 on the season, 1-3 in the conference. But it was a tale of two halves. There are some positives to walk away with. Just 5 points in that first half, and as you can see by that final score, that is not what happened in the second half. Great halftime adjustments. But the Barrington Broncos were just too tall, too imposing for Schaumburg to finish it off. Those Broncos will go to 13-4 on the season. They are undefeated in the conference thanks to a double-double from Rapul Zivanauskas and Chris Lester's 4-block, 3 two-handed jam, and 20-point performance. Build on that. So catch us next week, Fremd and Conant. For our cameraman Rick Signorella, our producer Bruce Anderson, I am Eric O'Brien. We'll see you next week from Conant.